Hi everyone, this is Jessica with Whispers of Grace. I'm here today to just kind of touch in and let everyone know what's been kind of going on with me, and I hope that everyone is going through these shifts during their journey. I'm visiting my aunt in Florida and been having a great vacation so far. Hi Jason. Um, so I'm actually sitting outside with her little kittens. So, um, I, oh no. Please let me know if you can hear me. If not, I'll start over. So, anyway, I'm just going to keep talking in hopes that y'all can hear me. So, the other day, I was doing my meditation, and one of the things that came through for me was the bear. And I've been having a lot of animal spirit guides lately. Hi, April. Thank you for joining. Um, if y'all can see and hear me okay, please let me know. So, um, yeah, I've been going through a lot of shifts and trying to figure out what is my next step. What do I do? And how do I get to my overall goal? And I feel like there's been a lot of shifts, a lot of things that I have to overcome within myself. And, I think we're all kind of going through that phase. So I just wanted to kind of share my experiences and things that I've noticed over the last week or so. Um, Thank you, April. So, um, I've kind of shared my experiences on like during my meditation and what do I need to do in order to clean up my life, in order to get where I need to be. And so the other day I was meditating and I asked, you know, what do I need to do, Lord? What do I need to do in order to get in touch with the real me? And as soon as I went under, it was like I was standing in the middle of the woods. It was a beautiful day, and all of a sudden, this gigantic grizzly bear starts charging me. And normally, I would be one of those people that would either run or just tense up in fear. And there was none of it, not even a single ounce. And I remember hearing in my head, like, as I'm seeing this gigantic grizzly bear coming at me, teeth snarling, and it was just like, if this is my time, it's my time. And um, I put my hands up, I closed my eyes, and I just stood there with this unbelievable confidence. And I felt it stop right in front of me. I could feel its breath on my face. And it stood up, and I stood my ground, and it came back down on all fours, and I could still feel the breath on my face. And it huffed and walked away. And when I opened my eyes, I just felt this, damn, I can do this. I have that confidence to face any fears that are thrown my way, any obstacles I can overcome. It's all a matter of mind and how you're feeling about yourself. And I know that, like, um, I'm supposed to be moving this month, and things were kind of not really clear on how everything was supposed to turn out. And right before I left to come see my aunt, I did talk to the girl I'm supposed to be moving in with, and she did clear a few things up, and I think we came up with a good, um, you know, how to kind of go about things in order to make both of us feel better about the situation. So I felt like that kind of cleared the air in some things. And then I just knew that I needed to get out of town. Like, I needed to get away from my hometown in order to gain some clarity on the situation and, get away from that so I could just gain more of a clear conscience on what I'm supposed to do. And um, as soon as I got out of town, it was like I could feel this weight lift off of me. And I was thinking about doing a video on the way down here of what I was going to, not really expect, but hoping that I would get out of this trip. And there are a few things that I've already kind of come across, okay? So, and a lot of it does have to do with confidence and what I'm choosing to do for myself. So, I think one of the biggest messages today is that oh, thank you. Yeah, today's actually a very exciting day because one of the other reasons that I came down here is Spirit told me that not only my aunt, but some of her friends needed messages too. So I reached out to her to see if anyone would be interested in a group reading, and a couple are. So I'm actually doing my second ever group reading here in Florida, and I'm really excited about what Spirit has going on today because honestly, and I don't know how many other of you realize that y'all can connect to Spirit or if you work with mediumship, but since I have been radiating at a higher frequency, I've noticed that wherever I'm around, and especially if I get around other sensitives who don't know that they can do this, yeah, I'm actually near, I'm in, was it Orange Park? And so, yeah, uh, I'm actually leaving tomorrow though. So, let's see. Um, the reading. So, and I'm glad I listened because there are a lot of things going on here since I arrived, and you know, being around that's what I was talking about, the being around other people who are sensitives and being a medium who vibrates at a high frequency, it, there's a lot of activity going on in the house, and my aunt has, well, she's more like my sister, y'all, let's be honest. She's only 2 years older than me. My family's kind of crazy, and she has two little girls, and they're sensitives as well, and I know they are. They pick up on energy, and so I've noticed that since I've been here, and it's only been a few days, that the activity in their house has increased substantially. Like, we were hearing all kinds of things last night. The girls were they admitted that they were feeling something on the stairs at night, and it's only at night. And, you know, I want to bring to attention to, especially for those of you who have children or, have grown up being able to sense or communicate with spirit growing up. We don't realize how much our words and our actions actually affect other people. And you know, I know that we had a very long day yesterday. I mean, we were at the beach for hours. I got burned bad, and we were tired. We were all cranky, and the girls were going downstairs for something, and they were saying that they were scared to go downstairs. And I realized that, because I was scared when I first started sensing spirit too, and because I didn't understand it, I didn't understand what I was feeling. I just knew that there was something there. And how many times have we been told that it's our imagination, that it's not real, that we shouldn't be scared. And we shouldn't be scared, because if we're working with love and light energy, then there's nothing to be afraid of, because most of the time, and I mean, y'all, spirit's around us 24/7. There is no peace and quiet with spirit around, and I'm just used to the energy now, so it doesn't really bother me. And I've noticed that there's a lot more people waking up and doesn't really know what the energy means or how it's supposed to feel. And you know it, it's all about a knowing. It's an inner, your body speaks to you differently when you realize that you're connecting to spirit. So I just want to let everyone know that when it comes to either children or even yourself, just be careful of how you're wording things or how things come across, because you know even though there might not be a reason for them to be fearful, um, to make them feel for even a second that that they're not feeling it, that they're not experiencing it, can really make a child or a person shut down their abilities. And that is the last thing that we want to do. So I ask that everyone embrace the experiences, because we all experience differently all of our abilities. And listen, we all have abilities. We all have psychic abilities. We all have um, that tune in and turn out. So, you know, it's all about how we experience it on an individual level. And, not everyone's going to experience the same thing. So just be careful when you're talking to others, or if people are opening up to you about the experiences that they have. Everything means something, y'all. So just be kind of careful about how things are brought up. And I was able to talk to these girls last night and say, what are you experiencing? What does it feel like? And, you know, Helen, the youngest, she explained pretty much what I experience when spirit comes in. She feels the sensation up her back, and she didn't know what it meant, but that's what it is. And it's that inner knowing that there's something there that you can't see. And, especially between me and my aunt, we got a big crowd on the other side. So there's a lot of spirit around us all the time. And she's a sensitive as well, whether she understands that or not. I think she's coming more to the realization that it's there. But don't discount anything, because, it, like April said, it can come as dreams, it can come as visions, it can come as, signs and synchronicities. I mean, I was seeing dragonflies all day yesterday, and, on the way here, I had a sparrow fly by, I had a heron fly over, and they were all like flying over my car. It was weird. And I shouldn't even say weird, because it's not. When you're connected to the universe in that way, that's how it comes across. They make it to where it's not just like, oh, that's a coincidence. And a lot of people do. A lot of people just chalk it up to coincidence, but there's no such thing. So, um, and it gave me the confidence to say, hey, listen, I love you, and normally I wouldn't step in, but, don't tell them that it's not real or that they're not experiencing it, because you don't know what they're sensing. And I remember as a child, a lot of people were saying, oh, it's just your imagination, it's not really there, or whatever the case may be. And I ended up turning my shit off. And, yeah, we were taking pictures of the double rainbow too. And, it was beautiful. So yeah, I mean, and that's the thing, like signs and synchronicities everywhere. And I'm glad that I can be of service to these girls and let them know that what they're experiencing is real, and they don't have to be afraid of it, because the power is within. If it makes you uncomfortable, just tell them. Like, and that's the thing, they respect our boundaries better than humans do. So All we have to say is, you're making me uncomfortable and I don't want to be scared. Um, you know, I I make the conscious decision not to see them. Like I don't want to see my grandfather just pop up out of nowhere and scare me. Like, and I think with my grandfather, because I'm closer to him in a lot of different ways, and maybe with being family, I would understand more. But just to be able to see any Joe Schmo that's on the other side and, creeping around the corner, that, I don't know, like, it's just me. But I'm not quite there yet. And, we have that choice. If we don't want them to communicate with us, we just tell them, don't. Um, I'm not ready for you to come in. And, uh, you know, Carol Cottrell, I studied under her for my intro to mediumship, and she put it like, if you don't want them to communicate with you except for at a certain time, you can say, you can't communicate with me unless I'm sitting in this chair. Like, you make the rules, you make the boundaries, and they will make it work. They will work with you. So if you ever feel scared or, whatever, and even sometimes if you feel like they're trying to communicate with you but you can't understand, ask them to come in at a lower frequency so that you can hear them and hear them clearly. So, you know, there's things like that. But okay, so back to the story was, my aunt, she's a beautiful, beautiful person, and um, like totally different body styles and everything. Like, she lives a totally different life than me, and I love her because it's fun. Um, but I've always had these self-conscious issues, and I've been bullied my entire life. And when I hit my 30s, I was like, well, screw this. I love who I am. I've earned this body, and I don't care what anyone thinks because I'm not just everyone's cup of tea, but I'd rather be someone's shot of whiskey anyway. And I know I'm not. Oh yeah, I just turned 31. Thank you though. Um, so yeah, I mean, it's hard to come into myself and be like, after all these years of putting myself down, like, um, yeah, it's bullying's terrible, and that's why again, be careful of effects differently, and we don't want to say anything that's going to make the people we care about feel like they have to distance themselves from us, okay? And um, yeah, but being around her, man, she just gives me this confidence. And I mean, I've been working hard, y'all. I haven't been as diligent as I probably should be with a lot of things, but I am taking care of myself. I try to be better about my choices and, doing my yoga and my exercises and eating well. And it's not all the time, but I'm okay with that. And, it's a lifestyle change, and I've been living a certain way for a long time. But, I've had a lot of people tell me, oh my gosh, you're losing so much weight. And I don't know how, how many of you have been through this process, especially um, with people who have been bigger. And it's hard to lose weight and to see yourself in a different way. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you see yourself every day, it's hard to see the results. It's different when someone doesn't see you for a few months and then they're like, oh my God, you've lost so much weight, and you've probably dropped about 10 or 15 pounds. So I know it probably looks dramatic to other people, but yeah, and that's the thing. I don't give myself shit for it, and I just keep moving forward because that's all I can do. And I know that I don't want to go back to the way that I was feeling. And that was the thing. The reason why I started doing this is because I was feeling like shit. I was feeling lethargic. I didn't feel good about myself. I, you know, was having a hard time connecting to spirit and meditating. My brain was all over the place. Found out that it was the caffeine and the food that I was putting in my body. exercising really helped clear my mind and bring me back down to a level I needed to be. So that's why I do it. It's a conscious decision. It's not because, oh, I feel like I was fat and I needed to lose weight. No, it just, I wanted to feel better. And, um, you know, good morning, Tammy. But yeah, so we go shopping, and one of the things was I wanted to go to the beach. I wanted to get some beach time, which, guys, I am burnt to a crisp. Florida sun is totally different than South Carolina. And yeah, so we're checking out these little shops in St. Augustine yesterday, and we come across this little hippie store, and I mean, I was in love. I was like, this is my store. I could spend so much money. I got all of this yesterday, and I love it. As soon as I saw these two clothing items on the rack, I was like, I really want to try these on, but it's something that um, I, Jason, I have no idea because I don't even know where we were. You're lucky that I remember St. Augustine, okay? I don't really, I mean, I used to come to Florida when I was younger, but not, I've probably only been a couple times in my adult life, and that was for unfortunate circumstances like funerals and stuff, so there wasn't really exploring or anything like that. Um, Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is the maybe the second time I've ever been to my aunt's house, and so yeah, it's something new for me. And so anyway, I'm at the store, and you know, the two things that I did get weren't really things that I would ever wear, that I would ever have the confidence to wear, and they were having this great sale. And she goes, well, you know, they're all buy one, basically get one 50% off. And I was like, holy crap. Well, you know, I saw this outfit and I was like, well, I really want to try that on. And even though it's too big, like I plan on getting it altered because like it was too pretty not to get. And and there was this other little halter crop top. And listen, y'all, I am not the skinniest person. I have curves for days, like no joke. And you know what? For the first time in my life, I can say I'm proud of it. I'm gonna rock that. And it was something that made me feel sassy. But if my aunt wasn't there, I probably wouldn't have gotten it because she's like, "Are you kidding me? Like your stomach's tight. You're good. You know." You, like she gave me that confidence boost to, even though I already had that confidence, she pushed me that little step further to actually have the confidence to buy these pieces of clothing, and told me what I could do in order to, you know, accentuate my body and that kind of thing. And, you know, I'm just really excited to start embracing myself. And I just want to tell y'all, like, don't be ashamed of who you are. Because I've had, and again, going back to being cautious about what you say, like, I have a friend and she's one of my best friends, okay? Like, I love this chick to death. I can do anything with her. But we went out for St. Patty's Day, and she was commenting on some of these girls, like, "Oh, girl, you shouldn't be wearing that with your stretch marks." And I was just like, "Damn, but I got stretch marks too, you know." And I knew she wasn't talking about me, but it just made me realize, like, when we judge others, we are. You know, we're letting our self-conscious issues out. And I know that she's usually a very fit person, and she usually takes very good care of herself. And I know she's feeling a little self-conscious about her weight at this point. So I don't know if she was kind of pushing that onto someone else, but it doesn't matter, y'all. If you feel confident in your clothes, and the more you feel confident from the inside out, that's gonna show. And you know, walking around St. Augustine, like I saw some thick girls walking around in shit that I probably would never wear, but they had the confidence to put that off, and I'm like, you go, girl, because you know, um, even though I might be smaller than them, I didn't have it. And so I gained that confidence yesterday by getting clothes that I probably normally wouldn't wear, but I actually want to have that confidence. And that's the thing. When you want and you will succeed, you will do things that are outside of your comfort zone in order to get there. So just know that you are beautiful, you are amazing, no matter what anyone else says. There are going to be judgmental assholes out there, and it is our duty to bring our light even brighter than the negativity that they're trying to shun upon us, because we will we will succeed, and we need to embrace what can we be proud of. And I also want to ask that, when it comes to your story in general, if you feel bad about, we get on ourselves very rough. Like, I mean, sometimes I can be my own worst critic, but I just want to put this out there too. If you are giving yourself a hard time about where you are on your journey at this given point, just understand, even if things don't look clear right now, even if it doesn't make sense, if you don't know where you're going or how you're going to get there, just remember, before you start getting hard on yourself and you're not going to make it and you're going to do this and, thinking failure before it even begins, just go back and look at your life and understand how much you have already overcome. How many times were you in the same exact position thinking that you weren't going to make it, that it was going to be too painful, or you didn't have the resources to do it? You did it. And even if it didn't turn out like you thought it would, it led you to something even better. And you're here standing today getting through all of your hardships. So just because it might not seem clear now doesn't mean that you're not heading in the right direction. So be patient with yourself. Don't give yourself a hard time, and just understand that when, if you start going through that, you really need to say, you know what, I might not be where I want to be, but I am headed in that direction, and I won't stop until I get there, no matter how that looks. And don't give up on your story, because it is only yours, and you need to embrace that. Embrace your body, embrace your love, embrace your journey, and live this life up, y'all, because there's so much darkness in this world, and I've realized that the more we're waking up, the more light is being spread, the more, suicides I'm seeing, the more negativity, it's so dark in so many ways. And I feel, in a sense, that the reason why that's happening is because we're all vibrating on a higher frequency, and it's easy for us to get wrapped up in that negativity and the gossip and the hate and the judgment and all of that, when we could be vibrating from a place of love and say, listen, we might not understand it, but you know we can accept it, and whatever you come with, I'm going to come with more. So anytime that you feel darkness, let that light shine, embrace yourself, embrace your journey, and don't give up, because this is your life, not anyone else's, okay? No one else is going to live it for you. No one's going to experience it for you. It is your time to rise up and embrace your own authentic truth and who you are, and soak it up, y'all, okay? And if you need to talk, I'm here. And, don't get too hard on yourselves. Allow the necessary changes to unfold. And, yeah, and that's what it is. And that's why I had to get out of town, Jason, because I'm telling you, there's a lot of changes happening, and I'm not sure what direction I'm going in, but I'm more confident now that no matter what decision I do make, that it's going to be the right one for me. And that was another thing that I did want to talk about. So when we're asking for signs, we're asking for opportunities, I realized that I wasn't actually being as clear as I needed to be. I wanted the new opportunities. I wanted the possibility to make necessary changes in my life, but I wasn't actually asking for what I needed. So, like, I was asking for spirit to help me find a place to move in with my dog, but I wasn't asking for a possibility that will actually be beneficial for me and my dog, that will help me get to where I need to be and what my overall goal is, to be in the mountains with the retreat and light workers and creating that community. That is my end game, okay? But I wasn't really asking for that. I wasn't being clear. So now all these opportunities start popping up, but are any of them actually right for me? And, is it going to be a pleasant experience for me and my dog? Is it going to be a pleasant experience for me spiritually to be there? And that's what we need to remember, because they'll bring you opportunities. I mean, I've had 3 in the last couple of weeks of people saying, hey, you need this, you got it, like, blah, blah, blah. But is it going to be of benefit? Is it going to be what I need in order to get myself back on track and get to that end game? I need to align myself with people who understand what I'm going through, that have the same goals in mind, that want to, shine their light and to spread that positivity. Yeah, and that's what it feels like. And that's why I asked my guides the other day, like, okay, well, I thought you wanted me to do this, so why are you, like, what's all these other opportunities for? And they literally told me that the reason they're sending me so many opportunities is, 1, I asked for it, and 2, I need to figure out how to use my own free will in order to make the decision that's going to be best for me. So that's what they're testing me with. And, um, you know, because it was like every time an opportunity was popping up, I was like, oh, well, maybe this is the opportunity I need to take. Maybe this is the opportunity I need to take. And then I had to take a step back and say, okay, now what's the actual benefit of all of these, and what does it mean to me in my journey? It's all temporary. It's all like so temporary. And some of the opportunities I just don't see working at all. But, you know, having that confidence in myself that no matter what, I'm going to figure it out. I'm going to figure it out, and it's going to be okay. And, you know, whatever decision I do make, I'm going to own, because it's my decision. And even if it doesn't turn out the way that I want it to, it's going to lead me to something better. So I'm perfectly confident in that. And, you know, we have to be able to make those choices for ourselves. And just be careful of what you're asking spirit for, because if you're not, that's the same thing with how we pray, how we talk, our conversations, whatever you're talking about is going to manifest. So if you're judging, if you're gossiping, if you're doing all that, it's going to come back tenfold, okay? So if the more you reshift to positive and inspiring and uplifting others to live a better and more stable life, then that's exactly what you're going to get. And what you put out is what you get back. So just make sure that you're living karmically correct, and understand that every day we have choices to make, and it's, what are you willing to own up to? What are you willing to take responsibility for? And own that decision. So, yeah. Must be putting out love. Well, you know what? There's nothing wrong with love going around, Jason, because we all need it. But again, it's making the necessary choices that's going to benefit us and in our journey. And you know, I think one of the things too is you're probably getting more in tune with yourself and understanding that you do have something to offer. And I kind of get the feeling that you used to feel that you didn't, that through your past relationships, that maybe there was some really harsh shit that uh, made you second guess what you are, who you are, and what you have to offer. And now that you're getting more in tune with yourself, you know what you have to offer, and people are seeing that light radiate. So I totally get that. And yeah, and it's a beautiful thing, but just because these offers are coming in doesn't mean that they're actually good for us. And it's okay, because there's going to be people who want to be a part of our light, and there's people who are going to want to take our light. So that's why we have to be careful of who we let in, and, um, you know, especially people of low vibration, because you want to surround yourself with people who are at your vibration or higher. Reach that, because you are not responsible, okay? And that's the thing, like, even with what I do, I love what I do, and this is my calling, but I am not responsible for anyone to do the, like, for me to do their work, okay? I am not responsible for making sure that people raise their vibration. I'm not responsible for people to get their life together. I am merely here as a vessel, as a messenger, to help inspire and uplift. You have to do the work. I am not responsible for anything, and you aren't either. So, um, yeah, just be aware of that and make sure that you're taking care of yourself, number one, and believe in your story, believe in your journey, and don't back down. So, I love you guys, and thanks for tuning in today. I hope that y'all have a wonderful weekend and, you know, a wonderful journey. I love you guys. Bye.